Well, hello. Welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you joining me here today. And it's always, I thank you for your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice more than anything else. And yes, the likes and the comments and the subscriptions are wonderful here on YouTube. Subscription arrow right here. That's wonderful. And I appreciate it. The best offering you can ever give anyone, anywhere, and there's no close second or third, is your dedication and commitment to your practice. So thank you for that. Now, before we launch into the idea for today and our discussion, I would like to just take a moment here at the outset to let you know that I'm always open to your questions and your ideas for topics. What we're doing here is we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, which is 31 chapters, totaling over 600 printed pages. We're on chapter 10 out of 31, which means we can certainly pause our procession through these lessons and ideas, which will still be there when we get back. We can pause them in order to have a discussion about something that you're particularly curious about. So if there is something in your practice of this material, in your study, in your spiritual practice that you would like to have a discussion about here, you'd like to have me comment on, perhaps it's a question that you've got or a topic, please let me know in the comments here. And I would be happy to work that in. It's very easily done. We've done this before, and I just want to extend that invitation to you again. So today we're wrapping up chapter 10, section 4 of the text of A Course in Miracles. It's entitled The End of Sickness. Yes, which we're bringing about. Now, today's conversation focuses on light, on the spark, which is in all of us. All of us. Even if we don't see it, which should be what it's intended to be, a very comforting thought. I really do hope that you see it that way, because we all know that there are days, there are moments where it feels like this isn't working. Perhaps you're in the midst of just such a moment right now, and your inner teacher said, turn on YouTube. Well, when something connects, it's him speaking to you. Count on that. We all have these moments, and it's very important to return to discussions and conversations just such as this to remind ourselves that we're one with God, that this spark is in all of us, whether we currently see it or not. Peace is yours because God created you. He created nothing else. Peace is yours. We're invited repeatedly in A Course in Miracles to the point where it's actually a lesson in the workbook for students to want the peace of God and nothing else. I want the peace of God. That is one of the ideas which are called lessons in the workbook for students. We're invited to want the peace of God and nothing else. And you know what? There is nothing else. which I also hope you find comforting. Now, you may not find that comforting. If you don't, it's the ego that's afraid. The ego, our false sense of individual self, which is simply a mistake. This image that you see on the screen is not me. I mean, I'm definitely not an assemblage of pixelated dots, which is what you see on your screen. And when I look in the mirror, I'm not the reflection in the mirror, nor am I this organism thing that appears to cast that reflection. And nor are you. We're not a physical body. We're the Son of God, which is not finite. It does not have a limited shelf life. It does not grow old, decay, and die. And by the way, this is another idea in the workbook. There is no death. The Son of God is free. Which, again, I hope you can take some comfort in. To the extent that it freaks you out, that is the ego. And actually expect that on the path. It happens. It happens to all of us. When we really take a good, hard look at A Course in Miracles for the first time, maybe, or the second time, or the 577th time, and we think, God, do I really have to forgive that person? We can all relate to that. And of course, the answer is yes, because forgiveness is either total or it's not at all. But to the extent that you're experiencing these nagging doubts, it happens. There is help available to you, starting first and foremost with your inner teacher, to whom we're all encouraged to appeal for guidance. He will tell you what to do, what to say, and to whom, where to go, if anywhere. All of those details that we obsess over in the world when we try to orchestrate and manipulate all compound phenomena all by ourselves with no guidance from anyone because we're strong individual self-sustaining survival units. Oh yeah, all of that we spout to ourselves. When we do this, we become deeply frustrated, overwhelmed, burned out. Feeling stressed out lately? What about relinquishing your need for control? What might happen then? Understand that when we attempt to orchestrate, manipulate, and control all phenomena, including other people, they don't do what we want them to do. Things don't turn out the way we envision them turning out in our mind when we try to do it all ourselves. We cannot guarantee of ourselves that everything that we say and do will have maximum beneficial impact for every living thing throughout space and time, guaranteed. But our inner teacher can and does. So we're invited to appeal to it. Holy Spirit is our inner teacher, and of course, you're welcome to call it whatever you want. It's not a human being. So you'll find that on these videos, I use the pronoun he and it interchangeably. You may call your inner teacher Sue or Mike, whatever you want. They're just names. Our inner teacher is part of our mind. that part of our mind that speaks for God, which is why it's known, among other names here in A Course in Miracles, as the voice for God, to which we appeal and under whose guidance we forgive as directed. So, a miracle here is an act of a son of God. There is only one son of God, yet here in the world of multiplicity, there appear to be 8 billion of these. So let's take that as our starting point, as this course does, and meets us where we think we are. We're not here. We think we're here, and here this course meets us using language that we can relate to, using a form that's familiar to you, so that we're not plunged into existential dread. And this looks like a human being, doesn't it? So we can relate to that because here in this dream, that's what we think we are. So we're actually using one of the more commonly spoken and understood languages in the world. I mean, it's among the, I don't know, 5 or 10 or top 5 most speakers or whatever. It's a tool. It's a tool that the Holy Spirit is using to reach you, and I know that this is an international audience, which is very cool. The miracle is an act of a Son of God who has laid aside all false gods, all illusions, and invites our brother to do the same. I invite you to set aside all illusions. And I recognize that you can do it, and you will do it. When is largely up to you, but you most certainly can. All of us can. This is what we do. A miracle is an act of God who is laid as the act of the Son of God, act of God. Same, who has laid aside all illusions, all idols, all false gods, whatever language you choose, and invites his brother to do the same. With the sure and certain recognition that he can, you can. While there appear to be 8 billion of us, comparisons are useful, aren't they? Ultimately, there is only perfect oneness. Here in the dream, comparisons are useful and choice is meaningful here because we have a choice of 2 thought systems. It's one choice with exactly 2 options. We could choose the ego and pain and separation, or we could choose the thought system of the Holy Spirit. We could choose truth instead of illusion, however you wish to characterize that in words. Here, while there appear to be 8 billion minds, there's only one mind. Here, while there appear to be 8 billion minds, the power of one mind can shine into and illuminate another. The reason for this, why one apparently separate mind can shine into another apparently separate mind, is that all the lamps of God were lit by the same spark. That's the spark I referenced at the outset. That spark is still there in all of us. You may see it, you may become aware of the light that emanates from that spark. You may not be aware of it, but you're watching this. I know you are. After all, there's a lot of other content out there. This spark in all of us is eternal. So we're invited to put all of our faith in it, and God will answer. Again, we're invited to put all of our faith in this spark, and God will answer. guaranteed. The question for each and every one of us is, will we be listening? Are you listening to the voice of your inner teacher now? And as always, I hope that the answer may be a resounding yes. All right. So I thank you, as always, for tuning in and for joining me. And again, as I said a few minutes ago, if you have a particular topic of interest that you would love to have me cover, then let me know that, and I'm happy to do that. Questions and comments are always welcome, as are subscriptions. And here again is the subscription arrow. Go ahead and hover over that. You'll be prompted to subscribe and join us. And what you'll get is, well, messages from our inner teacher. When it lands for you, when something lands for you, it's him. It's not this pixelated image on your screen. And once again, I'm called to just state one more time that your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice is the single most important gift or offering that you can give anyone, anywhere, anytime. A miracle is an act of the Son of God who has set aside illusions and invites his brother to do the same, recognizing full well that you can do it, that he can do it, that she can do it. There's faith and confidence in this. The same spark is in all of us. So may you recognize that spark today. All right. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I'll see you soon.